Welcome to the Ghostheads Nerd Talk Podcast. Conversation about all nerd culture from all the corners of the world. Now here are your two Ghostbuster hosts, Joe and Rain.
Hey, all you cool busters and bustettes. I'm Ghostbuster Joe, and welcome to episode 72 of Ghost Head Nerd Talk. Wow, 72 episodes. It's amazing. I hear jingles in the background. Don't know what that is.
No, ice cream truck near my house.
God, we don't hit us with a copyright strike. No! Oh,
yeah, and it won't shut up, so apologies.
It's okay. 72 episodes. Twitch, welcome back. Facebook, I know this is dudes, but it's still here on Facebook. YouTube, 8 years, friend. It's always been here. So, Rain, you want to introduce the guest today?
Yes.
Oh,
what?
Oh, wait. We don't have a guest.
That's right. We're the guests today.
We're the nerds. We introduce ourselves. So today, Rain, do you want to announce to the audience what we are talking about today?
Yeah, we're doing something fun. We're just talking about weird ass cartoons and TV shows that we can remember, or maybe watched, or possibly watched, or didn't even watch, that we can remember from the 80s and 90s. That fun topic that doesn't really seem to get, people talk about a lot of their favorite stuff and what they really enjoy, but sometimes the weird shit is just kind of really out there, and some of it's really good, some of it's like really weird. So interesting today.
Do you want to start your I've made separate lists of cartoons and television shows. Do you want to start yours off?
Sure. Oh gosh. I gotta scroll through my thing. So some of these aren't weird, but they were considered weird, but I really enjoyed a lot of these. So first off, I had to go to a friend's house because when I was growing up, they had Nickelodeon and my dad was too cheap to have cable. And so we watched Danger Mouse was a really interesting show. Being that my dad was huge in the James Bond, and so I thought it was really cool, like kids James Bond in a sense. So I really, it was a bit of a weird show. It was a British show, but it was really, it was cool. I kind of like the premise of it. It's really interesting. Though I didn't get to watch very much of it, but whenever I did, it was great. Another one that people because obviously the name, but it's Disney's The Gummy Bears, which people coincide with the candy, which how can you make a show about candy, but it's not.
Fun fact, sorry, interrupting you. The fact, the theme song from the Gummy Bears is a famous singer. I can't think of his name. I was watching the video on YouTube, on Instagram, on the Nerd Talk page. Famous singer, like a Grammy Award-winning singer, made that theme song for the Gummy Bears.
Really? I didn't know that.
You have to look it up later. It's funny.
Yeah, the show appealed to me because it was medieval days, and it was supposed to be about mythical bears that had gummy berry juice that made them bounce, but the stories were actually really good. It wasn't so much a kid's show, but it was, but it wasn't. It's like the kind of the shows today where it's got bits of adult content. I mean, I caught my dad watching, and sometimes my mom would watch when I was watching the show. And I remember it was part of the Disney afternoon for a little bit in the afternoon channel. And then when you got home from school, and then it went to Saturdays only, to where it was only on a Saturday. And it ended at a cliffhanger, but it was like 2-3 seasons, but it was really good because they were trying to find like their ancestors, because their ancestors had left. And
Saturday.
But it was, it was such a great.
It ended at a cliffhanger.
What also resonated with me, woo, Slimer moving back there. What also resonated with me was that Lorenzo Music, the voice of Peter Venkman from The Real Ghostbusters, was on it, and he's also the voice of Garfield. So he was the voice of Tummy Gummy, and so I was just like, oh, okay, I know that voice. So that really resonated with me. Another really weird kind of spy show, Inspector Gadget. That was another really weird show with Dr. Claw, who you never see, but he has the cat, and I forgot the cat's name. but they turned it into a movie because it was really popular. But yeah, it was just in one of those weird shows. Then there was the Smurfs competitor, the Snorks,
Oh,
which was
God.
another really weird show with the dicks on their heads.
Yeah, jeez. So, well, it must have been fun in that around that neighborhood at night.
Right. I mean, I remember what was it Family Guy? I think did the parody of it, where it was like really cool, like one of them's bending over and then it starts getting hard or something.
Yeah. Oh no.
That was funny. A really great show. Though my friends thought it were weird because they were into GI Joe, but but guys that I talked to, but I love the Thundercats. I really like the Thundercats. Yeah, another classic, and a show that I don't really find many people knew about it, but it was an earlier anime show, Voltron. I love Voltron. You had the 5 lions that came together. I mean, and Deadpool talks about it all the time. You know, we were 5 mini robots that turned to one giant robot. And my son didn't really get the reference when he saw that. He goes, "What is that?" It's like, "Oh, it's an old TV show called Voltron." You know, they don't have that anymore. But it's funny. Futurama makes a reference to it where I think it's like all these robots come together to make a giant bender or something like that. It's really funny. But yeah, that's the 80s. If you want to do 80s, then we can come back to 90s. So.
Do you want to? You want me to do mine now? My weird
Sure.
TV show? Okay, number 5. I'm gonna go 5-1. So
Okay.
number 5, we have it's it's 90s, but it goes into a little bit 2000s. I think I'm wrong if anybody in the chat remembers this show. Unhappily Ever After. That's number 5. It was like a family show. The husband got a divorce. I had to explain to somebody what it was at work today.
So these are shows, not cartoons.
This is starting with the TV shows.
Okay. I started with cartoons.
The TV show. I told you I made 2 separate cartoons and a cartoons one and a TV shows one. So TV shows: Unhappily Ever After, Third Rock from the Sun.
That was a weird show.
Yeah, really weird. They tortured a poor guy, made him a little kid, and then he made one alien that needed to learn how women live, made him a woman, and yeah. And another one, it was kind of like a 2000s show, but it was like a off peak of the Baywatch show, Son of a Beach.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like creepy weird.
Funny. I haven't seen any of these, though I heard of him. I never watched any.
Number 2 is, most people remember it, but some people don't. Strangers with Candy.
I remember hearing about that show. I've been an episode too.
We have to look that one up. That show was weird. Even when
comedy sketch show, right?
Yeah, it was a comedy sketch show. It was like this
yeah.
girl that had a drug problem. She brought her back to high school or something like that. I don't know. And number 1 is the Strange World of Alex Mack. That's number 1.
I don't know that one.
That one is you can look it up. It's about a high school girl. She's going to her first day of school or whatever, and she's walking across the street or whatever, and she gets like she knocks over like one of those like acid trucks or whatever that has like the biohazard, and it knocks on her, and she get like this power that turns into like liquid, and it's kind of like T-1000. She like turns into liquid, and yeah, it's an interesting show. It's an interesting show.
Never heard of that one, but the others I have.
It's from Nickelodeon. It's a Nickelodeon show. It was.
See, I didn't have cable.
Yeah. Because your friends didn't tell you about Alex Mack. I am shocked.
Yeah, no.
Strange, yeah. But yeah, Strangers with Candy. It was like a weird. You have to look that up. Like it's like it was supposed to be something else, and then the girl that was on it, they picked her up because she was like a weirder looking person. So they chose her to be like this lady that was like a preacher, and they said that she had that look just like the preacher.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, now we're gonna go into you don't have to do a countdown for cartoons because you mentioned a lot of cartoons already. But if you want to,
well, I did 80s. I didn't get into the 90s yet. But
now let's go 90s.
All right, 90s. A show I really like, Animaniacs. That was a really weird show. The premise of 3 Warner Brothers and the sister Dot. But I thought that was hilarious. I really liked it. Though some of my friends couldn't get it, but I mean, it wasn't the same for everybody. But out of that birthed like Pinky and the Brain, and you had which was another great show. Then they spin it off into its own thing. But and what was the one with the dog that kept chasing the little girl? And
Oh,
then it was like
no, Becky. I
the
can't think of her name.
yeah, I forgot the name of it too. And then what was it? There was the pigeons that were like mob bosses or something like that.
I love that.
Yeah, it
Being
was
living
a
in
good
New
show
York.
by Spielberg. Yeah, I remember they brought it back, but I haven't even checked it out yet. But
Just be careful watching it. You kind of be
not that
like,
good.
you'll
Yeah,
be like, oh, what did I do? What did they do to them? What did they do to them?
I'm too busy to check it out. But another really weird show, but again, I absolutely loved it. Ren and Stimpy. That was just really weird and off the wall. But that's what I liked about it. And again, because it was on Nickelodeon, it was something I would always go to a friend's house to watch after school. It was just that when it came on, and it was I just remember that weird kind of look when they got really close and they're all like gross and kind of weird, you know. Then SpongeBob does some of it too when it does the close up of it, but then when it comes back, it's the normal like animation.
Yeah,
But
they should keep it like that. I don't know. I always hated to love seeing Ren's face up close.
yeah,
Ugh.
because it zooms in on it. But I mean, just the and Billy West did the voice for it, so it was just it was really great.
Welcome, Vinny. Welcome, Vinny.
Courage the Cowardly Dog, another weird show. Beavis and Butthead, which I got really into a lot, just because I was a huge stoner during the day, and remember going with like a group of 10 of us to go see it in the theater. Beavis and Butthead Do America. That was a huge thing. Another really cool show, though it was kind of weird. A Reboot. It reminded me of like a kid's Tron, because it was about people that were in the computer programs and all that. A show that I remember my brother watching that I kind of got into because it was about technology and mechs was Exo Squad. It was an interesting, quirky cartoon from like the 90s. I remember catching episodes here and there, but the premise seemed quite interesting on it though.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm gonna get into my cartoons right now.
Okay.
Number 5 for me is probably gonna be one that you probably didn't watch. Maybe you did. I don't know. Swamp Thing.
I caught bits and pieces of it, but never because I never saw the movie, so I was never really into it.
I saw it, but I didn't see it. Like it would come on certain channels that you really didn't get. Like some people didn't get. Another one is Animaniacs. That's another one for me that really hit me really hard as a kid because it was just not just like sketch comedy. It was like they taught you stuff too. Like I accidentally posted it on my story today, and Instagram gave me a flag because I posted the video of him doing the states, and it flagged me.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Really?
Yeah, it flagged me. I think it accidentally posted it as a post too.
Oh.
It went on my wall. I was like, what? Hi, Benny. The next one is, as you said, the Cowardly Dog.
Courage, yeah.
Because
Stupid dog.
The way they did the cartoon art on that one too.
Yeah.
When he got injured, he got stung by bees. Like.
Yeah, my son watches it on Cartoon Network. They post the reruns on it, but I remember watching it today. I'm like, yeah, the show was really weird, but it was funny back when he was younger, because like he's always trying to protect Muriel and like his owners, but yet they don't believe him and remind me of like a really off the wall kind of Scooby Doo.
But that was, I guess that was 4. I guess this will be 3. Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Yeah.
Because it was weird. All the kids had their own little characters. They're all a little weird. The kid with the plank, like his piece of wood, looked like Hacksaw Jim Duggan in the 90s, hanging around with a piece of wood. There's another one but it was on WB. It was like a cartoon. He was like a superhero character, but he was really weird. He was like a
Freakazoid.
Yep, Freakazoid. Yeah.
You just had to tell me WB.
Yeah, because he was on Kids WB right after school or like on a Saturday morning. Trying to think. the one that everybody I know gives me so much flack for even saying the name because it's like saying a curse word. Teen Titans. Teen Titans Go.
Are you the when they're the different animation, not the more serious one?
Not the serious. You know, I tried to watch the serious one and I was just like, I like being the goofy water when they were eating the waffles and the twerking and that stuff like that. That's my goofy humor and Jimmy. I'm like, waffles, waffles, waffles.
Was it a scoot your booty, boot scooty or something like that? Yeah.
I think if we did it, Rain, if we did a cartoon of us, if Joe Alphabet did a cartoon, I'd make it. I would want it like I know it would be serious for some parts of the show, but then the art will go to like Teen Titans Go.
Oh gosh.
Oh, you dancing? Yes. And no, I'm not. I'm being serious. And then you see the camera turn. I'm like, and turn around. You're just like, I'm just like, okay, no, not dancing. Now let's get back to the countdown. Let's get back to the countdown. The number 2 for me, I just started watching it again. Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? Podcast fam, welcome. We have another podcast people in the chat. Welcome.
That's Kate. Hi, Kate.
That's my friend. Another podcast, another countdown. Number 2 would be Ugly Americans. It was a Comedy Central show.
Oh, okay.
And
the name sounds familiar.
Yeah, it pretty much is like this human guy that's in New York City, but it's like this opposite world of New York City. That hey, welcome. It's like an opposite world of New York City where everybody's either a robot, an animal, or the devil or a demon. Like it's a weird, super weird show. And number 1 on my countdown with a bullet would have to be the one and only. He comes from the land of down under. He wears the coolest freaking Hawaiian shirt in the hey Vinny, the coolest Hawaiian. Let me do my intro. The coolest Hawaiian shirt ever. He's the cutest little dog. The one and only Rocko's Modern Life.
Oh gosh.
I started watching it again on Paramount, and I'm like, I love Rocko. I forgot why I love Rocko's Modern Life. The episode. It starts off. They're in the fair, and they're at a fair, and he wants to. The big guy wants to go on the Ferris wheel. To keep him all safe, they close his legs in, and he's like, "It just closed in my legs a little bit. It's not doing the bad thing." So his leg is going.
Never watched that show.
See,
I mean, I saw commercials for it and all that, but never got into it.
If you know a friend like now, because you don't get Paramount, you have to go to your friend's house to watch it. Go to your friend that's in the chat. Go to her house. She probably has it. Like, does everybody have Paramount? Not now. Oh, like, okay. Let's do another one. Let's not just do 2. Okay. With it,
I do my TV shows if you like.
Yeah, do your TV shows.
Okay. I'll do 80s first, but these are some shows. Some of them I watched, some of them I didn't. But Small Wonder, which was a really weird premise, but maybe a little too ahead of its time or something. But it was essentially a robot that was kind of sentient. It was named Vicky, Vici. I don't know how I remember all this, but it was like voice input, child identification, something like that. But I remember it was like a small girl, and then family adopted her, but they were trying to hide that she was a robot but had super strength and super speed and could throw her voice and do all this weird stuff. And the girl next door was always trying to figure out what was going on or something like that. But it was a really weird show for its time. I remember the 1980s. She had a power outlet in her back and always wore the same clothes, and it was a really weird show.
Yeah, she had that big bow in her hair.
Yeah. Really weird show, but I absolutely loved it. Pee-wee's Playhouse. Absolutely loved
another one I didn't mention.
Yeah, love Pee-wee's Playhouse. And I didn't actually get into Pee-wee's Playhouse till after I saw the movie, and then I don't remember which one came first, but I remember watching the movie and being really into Pee-wee's Playhouse. Even my dad would watch Pee-wee's Playhouse with us, and I just always remember like a hiney ho.
Yep, yeah.
with the genie. But when you go back and watch those, I had my kids watch them and they really enjoyed it. But there's so many young actors in there that are like, you had Lawrence Fishburne and Phil Hartman, and so many great great actors were in that show, before that they were kind of huge. So they were kind of playing bit parts. But yeah, it was such an oddball show, but it was great. It was really great. Another weird show that many people don't remember, Max Headroom. It was this weird. You might, yeah. You see, it was a 1980s thing. It was supposed to be like the corporations had taken over, and this. It was so. If you've seen Back to the Future,
Yeah.
and he's in the Cafe 80s, and like you see Ronald Reagan, and he's like, "Welcome to the Cafe 80s."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
So
him.
Max
He
Headroom
did like that,
was that basis for that, though he did that first. But he had the sunglasses on, and he was always smiling. It was kind of a bit of an MTV sort of thing, and he was supposed to be like spokesman for corporations. But I remember my brother and I, we were kind of captivated because it was computer graphics, and so we thought it was really neat. And renting the movie, and it had like nothing to do with it whatsoever, and it was just a really weird kind of concept. But then they took that image and started making, I think he was branded with like New Coke or something like that at the time, before they switched back to Coke Classic. But it was such a weird, really weird show.
I wonder why they changed Coca-Cola.
Yeah, right. So I kind of liked, though I don't remember watching one of them, but the other one I do. But it was the Knight Rider copies, which was Airwolf, which was really cool. I loved the Airwolf. And then the other one was Street Hawk, which was the motorcycle version of it. And yeah, I just always remember that they weren't quite as good as Knight Rider. I remember watching Knight Rider a lot. I liked David Hasselhoff at the time. And plus the kit was really cool. But Airwolf was cool, but I never was able to catch it when it aired. So, but Street Hawk, I think I caught maybe an episode or two, but it was just another weird presence or show that I just kind of felt like it was. And I was like, it's too much like Knight Rider. I'll just watch Knight Rider.
There's another show that I watched, but I would never admit it because I'm a guy. Is what's that? It was like Saved by the Bell, but they were all like Sweet Valley or whatever it was called, with the kids, with like a 90s kids show. It was almost like a Saved by the Bell, but it was like California based. California
like
Dreamers.
Dawson's Creek or something. I don't know. I never watched any of that show.
I couldn't dare myself to watch Dawson's Creek because my sister would be like, "Get off my TV show, you loser!" I can hear my sister yelling at me now, like, "Get out of our TV genre, Joe. You're not supposed to watch it. You're a nerd." Like another one that I didn't know it went this long was Saved by the Bell, the new class. That was another one.
Yeah, you were saying, yeah. I never watched those. Yeah,
it was 7 seasons.
Kind of weird.
It felt bad because what's his name died, and watching
Justin
that
Diamond,
show,
right?
Yeah, Justin Diamond, he died, and he did the show. He did all the episodes of the show, and like it's because that Saved by the Bell, the college years flopped, and nobody liked it, and it only went 2 seasons, and he needed something to do, so they said, "You're an alum, so we'll have you come in as just like you're the alum. We'll have you come in and just be here at school. Weird. Let's have you come back to the school and work. That won't be weird. Like,
no, not at
all. There's another one that I saw a few days ago. Let's go like 90s. My turn. I'll go 90s.
Okay. I got my 90s list too.
Oh yeah. I got number 5, Beetleborgs.
Do you remember that one? Don't know that one. No.
Oh God, that one was weird because they went into this old mansion, and this guy that has a chin like Jay Leno, like tells these kids, gives these kids like these Borgs or whatever it is, and they become like a bootleg version of the Power Rangers.
Oh really?
Yeah, like a bootleg Power Rangers. Another one, number 4, the RoboCop cartoon.
Oh God, I remember catching an episode or two, and I was like, "This sucks."
It was kind of crappy because they didn't shoot. They have like lasers coming out of his guns, and I'm like,
Yeah, it was just yeah. 'Cause, I mean, how can you go from like blood and guts into cartoon? And it just doesn't work.
yeah, like no, this is not my bag, not my bag at all. Number 3 would definitely have to be the Transformers cartoon.
Really, Gen 1? Are you talking
Yeah,
about like?
the
I remember
original.
catching some episodes in the morning. It was like right next to Robotech.
Yeah, Transformers. Number 3 would be. It's weird to say this, but like I caught it toward like middle of the end when they started watching. They showed it on TV. It was the Hulk Hogan cartoon that was on TV.
I mean, you're a wrestling fan. I never watched it.
It was like you're gonna have to like somehow watch it on YouTube, and it was pretty cool. Number 2 would be oh gosh, oh my gosh, and it's another wrestling reference show, but it was on Cartoon Network. It was Lucha Lucha.
Oh, I remember hearing the name. Yeah.
It was a weird cartoon. Me and my buddy were talking about it on Friday, last Friday, and number 1 with the bullet has to be, if you say it, everybody starts singing the theme song. I'm gonna have to add this in a clip. The X-Men, the Fox X-Men cartoon.
Love that show. Yeah, I
I'm
watched
gonna have to
that.
make a clip of this and put that theme song in the background because that theme, yeah, and it's back because they put it on, what was it, Peacock?
It's all
No,
over Instagram with Hasbro. I've been seeing a lot of posts from Hasbro.
I
Yeah.
got it. I have to. I think it's on Disney Plus. If you do you have Disney Plus, Ryan?
Yes, that I actually have.
Let's make a promise of before the summer's over, we could binge every episode, and then we can review it.
If I have time, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll have to review it. I definitely will, because I'm a kid of that era, and I watched that cartoon, and the guy that I was obsessed with, everybody says I was just like him. Morph. Everybody says
Morph.
I was Morph. They said I was Morph. I'd be Morph, and I'm like, insulted me, and I do the voice. You just totally insulted me. Why would you make me him? And then, Joe, you can make your voice into anybody's without even thinking. You just look at the person, and like my friends in high school said, I could see you staring at someone, Joe, listening to their voice, and then they talk and they walk away, and you're going, oh God, and your voice goes into their voice, like, and I'm like, no, and like, no, Joe, I could hear the voice, their voice. You're talking in their voice, and I'm like, it's not my fault. I'm cool.
I had Hugh crush on Wolverine Logan, and then Jean Grey, obviously, and then Storm I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that was a good cartoon. Like some of the bad guys were so cool. Like
Yeah, it was really great lore building and a great world. It wasn't cheesy. It was like it felt like it was talking to adults and comic book fans and kids at the same time. So I think it was really great how it reached a much wider audience. It didn't play down to like to younger kids. It had really good adult content to it too.
and
I mean, and it holds up. I mean, it holds up today.
one episode freaked me out. I don't know if it freaked you out when they did that disease and they had that bumps on their skin. Do you remember that episode?
No, I've done a lot of drugs since then.
Well, if you saw the episode, you'd be like, I gotta go get a layoff just for a month. Like you would freak
No,
you out.
I don't know. I remember some of the show, but not a lot. But I did watch a lot of it. But I would have to go back and watch it again. I would like to. I just don't have the time. I remember watching it like on again Saturday mornings. It would be on, and I think with that and Ninja Turtles. So
Yeah.
it was just those kinds of shows that I watched, and then I would play like Nintendo all day or something like that, or went out and did. It was the late '90s, so I mean, gosh, no, I would be out partying all night. So it was probably some brain cells that have been from partying a lot.
I don't know if you remember this. There was a lot of video game cartoons that came out in late 90s too.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah,
a few of them that I want to jot off if you remember any of them. You'd go first if you remember any of the cartoon video game based on video games.
Oh gosh, yeah. X-Men versus Street Fighter, X-Men versus Capcom, and those. I was working at movie theaters, and then they always had them in lobbies, and so I always enjoyed on breaks playing the crap out of those games. Gosh, I remember the 4-player version. It was like they did the Turtles and there was the Simpsons and they had the 4-player of the X-Men. It was cool. They actually had brought that arcade machine to Rose City Comic Con last year and got to play that for like a few hours before the show opened, and that was so much fun. I was like, God, I didn't remember going through all this. And then they had the console version, which sucked ass because you can't ever beat the arcade games at that time. But yeah, the X-Men stuff is what I remember most out of the console and video game arcade stuff.
The one I remember like it's yesterday was the Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon that was on TV.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I didn't remember liking it that much though. Though I love Sonic. I remember Sega came to the mall in my city, and they were promoting the Sega Genesis, and at the time we didn't have a Super Nintendo, and I begged my dad to buy me a Genesis after we saw Sonic because it just was so cool and so different. So yeah, and I bought Tails and had all the other ones too. I think I stopped at like Knuckles. So
yeah, I think everybody's like, okay, Sonic. I kind of didn't, because I was like, I loved Sonic and I love all those characters. So for me, I actually got the Sonic Pinball. I don't know if you remember that one.
Oh yeah.
The man, that I said this to my friends and they all started laughing at me. I'm like, the soundtrack for that game was boss. Like, you have to go. Do you remember the soundtrack for that one, Ryan?
You talking for the original game?
No, for the pinball game, Sonic
Oh
Pinball.
God, no. What console was that on? I don't
Genesis.
remember. Was it on Genesis? Okay, then I probably didn't get it. I remember the game, but I don't remember hearing it.
Me and Sassy were like playing a game like this, like bobbing our shoulders.
Really?
When we're done with the game, I will go on YouTube and I will send you, if they have a playlist for the whole soundtrack. It is just boss. It's like something you would load into your computer and just throw into in the middle of a song, like a dance song. It's like like that. And when you go down, it goes, and then the music will go with it. Yeah. Well, there's another one that I kind of remember they made into a cartoon, that they should have made it into a cartoon series. It would have been really cool. Streets of Rage. Don't you think they should have made that into a series? Hey, what's going on, Johnny? Welcome.
Ever that or Double Dragon? Or did they make a Double Dragon cartoon? Yeah.
If
I remember
anybody in the chat has any top 10 movies, top 10 cartoons from the 90s and 80s, throw it in the chat. Let us know.
Yeah. Love to hear what other
like this video and share with your friends. Share this video on Twitch. Share it everywhere, so everybody can get their feedback on here, because I love hearing everybody else's ideas of what they think about the 90s and 80s, because that was a stronghold for all our lives. And actually, I don't know if we're going to be doing our show on Saturday, but I hope to be able to, if Rain's not busy. It's Ghostbusters Day.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I think I'm busy Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, maybe I can. Yeah, I'll try.
Let's do this right now. What would be your top 5 all-time favorite real Ghostbusters bad guys?
Oh God, you're calling me out on that.
Oh no. Getting in the book, you have to open it.
It's been a long time since I've actually watched the show, but from what I can remember off the top of my head, I really liked one of the first episodes when their flight suits were the bad guys, because they had so much slime, I guess, on them that created bad guy versions of them. Obviously the Pumpkinhead guy was really iconic. And I think it was the Boogeyman, I think, was another really good one. One episode I always remember because from Christmas time, when they went back in time and busted the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, and then they changed history and they had to go back. So maybe they were the kind of bad guys then. And the Casey Jones one, where they're going after Casey Jones, and Venkman goes, he goes, I love trains and I went to school for engineering until I found out that that's not what it's for. And I was like, no way, I didn't know that. 'Cause you think of an engineer, like a train engineer, you realize it's something different
Oh, geez.
than what it was. But he said he loved trains so much he went to school to be an engineer to drive trains, but not knowing that engineering is something totally different. So, and then that was something I learned, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And yeah, it was something funny.
If you're wondering, old fans, why I decided not to do a top 10, top 10s take too long and people get bored.
No, I agree.
And as you know, as child, us 80s kids, we have if you're like me with ADD, you'll be going top 10, number 9, number, and you'll be going,
Squirrel.
No, forgot. Joe, you got off track. Sorry. I have not had, I haven't done that in the past. Like, totally divert and forget. Oh, I'm talking to my friends. Pretty redhead. What?
You and redheads, man.
I was supposed to go to Ireland with Special Olympics. Never got chosen, but I definitely would have been.
And it's funny. I was watching Days of Confused the other day, and he's like, "I love them redheads," and I'm like, "Hey, it's Joe."
In the past, yeah. Yeah. Yep, they keep getting younger. I keep getting older. No, Joe, stop it. You're gonna get in trouble. FCC can't stop me.
So real quick on my 90s shows that are weird. Few of them that I watched, but Dinosaurs. I don't. Some people really liked it. I always thought it was kind of. It was a really weird show. But it was kind of out there, but I didn't really get it. All I just remember is not the mama. I mean, it was always and I always remembered. Really another really weird show. Herman's Head. I don't know. If it was on,
yeah.
Fox, and it's funny. They took the same premise and made Inside Out from Pixar with it, but it was about where this guy had his. It was like I think it was like wimp and animal and like these different personalities in his head, and then they would switch to like what they were saying, and then what the guy was doing or something like that. It was really interesting. And I remember watching a few episodes and laughing at it. It was pretty good. But I think it only lasted for like 3 seasons. It didn't do very well. It's just a weird concept. But then, of course, Pixar makes a movie out of it, and it does really well. And there's a sequel to that coming out, too, really soon. Another one I remember growing up with, it was on HBO. It was called Dream On. Yeah, not the mama, exactly.
Not the mama. Did you guys, either of you get a chance to see the last episode? I heard.
No, I didn't.
Super dark. It's like
I heard. Yeah, never watched.
It's probably on Disney. You probably have to go all the way to the last episode. It's dark.
Okay. Yeah, I never watched the whole thing. It came on. It was at those weird times where I was just doing something, and I remember catching bits and pieces of it. But I hate jumping into a show like in the middle because I feel like I miss what happens, and I feel like I miss context. So if like I missed the first couple episodes, I don't know, it's just weird like that.
That's why it's fun to have things like that, like Paramount and Peacock.
Yeah, you can actually start from the start. Because back in our day, if you didn't record it, it would be like the last 5 minutes of it. Yeah, I can watch it again. You can go find it again. So it was just something I just like, okay, I've already missed all of it or missed like all this stuff. I'm not going to try and jump into it because I already missed what happened. So I didn't feel like I would get context of what it was talking about.
Yeah.
So that was just how I was with a lot of TV shows. So unless I started it from the beginning. But my when my parents did get cable, late 90s, I remember a show, it was called Dream On. And I only liked, it was a weird kind of show. I don't know if it was weird, but I only remember where you would hear the guy and his thoughts were of clips from like old black and white movies. And I remember going, that's how I think, because sometimes I will think like in certain movie clips will pop up in my head and like things that are going on or my reactions like in my head, like it's usually Futurama episodes or other like TV shows, but it's like I can so when I'm thinking and reactions to certain things, like I can hear the reaction in my head, but it's usually like a clip from a show of like just how my brain works. So I remember going, gosh, yeah, that's kind of like how I think. So I always thought it funny and interesting, but I never watched full episodes, maybe 1 or 2. But I just remember the show was just kind of a little weird and out there. But yeah, that's from I can remember from it. Another really cool show, Sliders. If you ever watched Sliders.
Who was in that one?
It had Jerry O'Connell, which is from when he became a heartthrob. It was the big kid from Stand By Me.
Okay.
Not the gosh, I can't remember his name. He had like the shaved head, but he wasn't the in the clip like Lardass. It wasn't that guy. It was the
the skinnier one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the younger actual kid version. I think it was a Vern maybe. But yeah, he grew up to be like super hot. Yeah, he was working on and like anti-gravity or gravity or something like that, and developed a wormhole that sucked him, his girlfriend, his teacher, and some guy into a multiverse. And that was how I kind of got my introduction into multiverse. But it was really cool because they had like they're in a different universe where women are the dominant versus the men, and the men are like more subservient. So it was kind of the roles were reversed. So it was really cool to see that, and how, yeah, you see like the ladies are calling out and catcalling the guys, and they're like, I don't like this. And I remember the teacher was kind of upset about it, and so he's trying to teach the men to be more manly, but it was really interesting to see the different worlds that they went in. And then they went to this weird direction, I think, in like season 3, where like these creatures were coming in, and they were like taking over their planet or some shit, and it just got really weird. So I didn't really particularly watch it anymore, but I always liked it for its different kind of like they're in a different multiverse every day. So and when they did our episodes, so I thought it was cool. So, but yeah, those were my 90s shows.
There's like 2 shows that were on MTV. Like there's 2 or 3 that are on MTV that were kind of for its time that I could say like 2 or 3 that I can remember. The Head. Do you remember that one?
No.
It was like this guy had this big like coconut-like head, and this thing would come out like a demon would come out of his head and protect him from like mean things.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, I just remember Eon Flux, like Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, that was another weird show. Yeah, but it was another weird one.
Liquid Television. That was where they would show all those on MTV. Liquid Television.
Yeah, before they went all reality TV. Yeah,
they had Eon Flex. Flux. I would say Flex because it sounded funnier. Eon Flex. She can whip someone's ass with one pinky. Done.
Yeah, it was cool that she was an assassin. I think my favorite part was when you see her catch the fly with her eyelashes. I thought that was really
cool. Eon Flex, Flux, the Head, and the Liquid Television cartoons that they had on there. They were like, for its time, they were kind of like Robot Chicken. You know, like very very like weird and like creepy, but they claymation things going, no, don't kill me, and they were like make it go, wow, I must be on the bad stuff today. Like, jeez. Of course, what's weird and not talk about Robot Chicken, like the Robot Chicken show. Really
true. Isn't that more of a, was it late 90s when that came out? I don't remember.
Like 2000-ish, but though everything goes back to like the Liquid Television, but that show, Liquid Television, gave birth to shows kind of like Robot Chicken.
Yeah, because that was it's Seth Green and Breckin Meyer at that created Robot Chicken. It's funny. One of my old best friends, like long ago, he made a Robot Chicken costume, and he won San Diego Comic-Con contest with that actual cosplay that he did, and he got to meet George R.R. Martin. But he got to meet Seth Green and Breckin Meyer, and they wanted him at one of their, I think, parties or shows, so he got to do that. I thought it was really cool. It was an amazing costume, actually. I know I have a picture of it.
Some more.
For anyone out there who was he goes by Gregarious Geek, but he's an amazing cosplayer too. But he does lots of neat stuff.
I wish we had the girls with us today. They would probably be like, "Oh wow, look at that! Oh, that's cool."
Yeah. It was he did a really amazing job. Yeah, and he got to meet Remus or whatever, the guys from The Walking Dead. It was amazing. But he So he got to meet George R.R. Martin, and he wanted to try his helmet on, the Robot Chicken helmet, and it was too big for him. So he actually took a picture of it. He couldn't fit it on his head because George R.R. Martin's head was just too big. So
But that's crazy. I'm trying to think. There's some more. There's some more really, really, really like edgy cartoons that were on the like MTVs and like there. Oh, there was another one. Okay, but it was a TV show that was on Nickelodeon. I talked about it on another show. You can't do that on television.
Oh, I remember that show. Yeah.
For that time, I watched it on
show.
Paramount. Oh my gosh, I watched it like 2 months ago, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, I remember catching it sometimes when we were because it would be right before I think Double Dare, and I would go to a friend's house. We'd watch Double Dare, or what's the other one? Where they go through like the gosh, I can't remember it. It was one of those other kids shows where they made the kids go through this gauntlet of stuff to get to the end and win some prizes. But I remember that being on just before. And yeah, it was really weird. I heard it was a Canadian show or something like that. I
mentioned to you. I didn't even know it was
filmed in Canada. Yeah, I didn't know it was a Canadian show.
Nickelodeon never even filmed. They didn't even film it. That was not theirs at all. Like it was filmed and it had all its episodes. It's like they took all their episodes, put them in a vault, and just put it away. Like Nickelodeon's like, we know what we're doing. Just open the vault now. And then just airing these episodes. These kids in the 90s don't know. They don't have a phone. Like they'll never know. These are old. And there's some stars that were on this cast that nobody knew, and then now you're seeing it. Like Alanis Morissette was on.
Really, I didn't know that.
There's some other actors that made it on that show, and there's some gross things that happened on that show. I don't know if you remember.
That was really weird.
I
think that's where like some of the slime kind of stuff. Yeah, there was the dirty bus driver kind of guy, or he always had a cigar or something.
Yeah, and the cook guy, the one that
he played the same character. Yeah,
he grabbed his armpit. And I was like, oh no. And the kid, I would say, oh gosh, no, I'd be sad. My sandwiches.
Sketch comedy kind of show. It was just kind of weird and out there.
I'm trying to think of some more. Again, in the chat, if anybody has any top fives of stuff that we don't have, go comment below. There's some other shows like this. The ones everybody knows of, I would say, Family Matters. That's another good one that everybody loved, but it was not weird, but it was just like, I watched some of them because I used to think Steve Urkel was cool, but then I would be like, I hang out with him. Like he was in.
Because I never watched it. I never got the references to when the people go like, "Do you want some cheese?" And I was just like, "No, I'm good."
Not today, and I'm lactose.
Yeah, I never got the Urkel dance. I mean, I never saw Fresh Prince. I watched maybe like one or two of them, but yeah, I was just one of those weird kids that didn't watch much TV. I mean, I did, but I didn't. I guess it was just very selective of what I watched.
Yeah, I was actually going on Paramount, and I watched Rocco today, and another show that I was binging that I actually didn't realize I watched the whole thing, and I was like, wow, I gotta go back and watch the last episode because I was out there on my phone at the same time. Is the show Awkward? It's an MTV show.
No, never seen it.
A girl that's in high school, and she's like,
that's awkward.
Yeah, it's awkward. Girl, she's very awkward. It's funny. Her facial expressions are her whole thing. She's like the whole time. Like she'll make something happen, or somebody will say something, she'll go like that. Like she'll be like wall staring to the camera kind of thing. It's like it's an interesting show. It's like I don't know. It's just I'm trying to think. There's so many like good TV shows that nobody brings up from the 90s. Like what's it? Step by Step. That's another good TV show that was like no, you probably never watched it ever. Another one that everybody talks about and like they always say the same thing. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I didn't watch those. Or Goosebumps. I only caught those because my kids started watching them. It was the only way that I actually caught those. But I never saw them before.
There's
Which is funny.
another one.
I've been more introduced to like to kids stuff that I missed through my kids that they're watching it now. So it was interesting. Though they don't
Another
watch it
one.
now. They're both teenagers now. So
Another one that really doesn't get the credit it deserves, Rain, is you probably didn't watch. Maybe you watch it, you probably don't remember it. Perfect Strangers. With
yeah, I
Balky.
remember that show. Yeah, Belky and I remember.
The
So
theme
I didn't.
song.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I remember catching some episodes. I just remember it was the guy from Beverly Hills Cop was in it. And yeah, that's Bronson Pinchot, I
Yeah.
think his name is. Yeah, I just remember him being from the movie, and it was like, oh, and I caught an episode or two, and it was just like, okay, it's a bit weird for me, so I didn't watch it.
Picture an 18-year-old Joe just closing his eyes singing the song. Like I'm singing the theme song with my eyes closed like this. My sister's like, wow, it's really deep. Yes. It's one of those songs you're like, why did they make it such a deep song? It should be like in a done. Like Family Matters wasn't really that deep. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, of course, it's Will rapping.
Right, right.
I'm trying to think what else. What else?
Well, I have a list of shows that I did watch. These are
Okay, here we
the
go. Go for it.
TV shows that I watched that I can remember that I actually really enjoyed. I have asthma, so I stayed home a lot when I was a kid because I had to do breathing treatments. But I watched a lot of Twilight Zone. Also,
Okay.
being a paranormal lover, I just really liked old black and white Twilight Zone. I Love Lucy. I watched a ton of I Love Lucy. It's called Rampart. It was an '80s show that was about like firefighters from Los Angeles, and being that it was from LA, I kind of resonated with it because I was just like, oh, I know where that is. I know where that is. I watched a little bit, but not a lot of Laverne and Shirley. I just remember 5, 6, 7, 8, and watched a lot of Gilligan's Island. God, I'm like dating myself now.
It's okay.
Watched a lot of like I Dream of Jeannie. I loved Bewitched. I just thought it was awesome. Girl Witch. I mean, how can you go wrong? And then it had the little girl Tabitha. I so wanted to be gosh, one of them on there. And I just loved the grandma and was it Uncle Albert was always like closeted gay kind of thing. It was I thought that was really cool. But I watched a lot of old soap operas too. I watched like Young and the Restless and As the World Turns. Just when my mom was home, I watched those with her, and I got caught up in some of that stuff. But yeah, those are like the shows that I really watched when I was younger. It wasn't until I got, older, I watched more cartoons, but I just kind of got out of watching TV. I was just more active and just was out doing things. But that's what I watched a lot when I was a kid. So
I should have been doing things. I was just sitting at home watching, here we go, Snick, watching all that. Okay, I'm going to cancel myself.
It was either that or video games. I was playing a lot of console games then, but that was like the in thing to do too. So while TV shows were going on like Fresh Prince and all that stuff, I was probably playing Sega Genesis or Nintendo 64 or things like that. Or I was out with friends, and then late 90s I was partying a lot. So yeah, just never was never on the TV.
Yep. So I'm trying to think what else. Let's do a top 5.
Okay.
Snacks. It doesn't have to be just soda. It could be like candy or like chips that they only found in the 90s that you loved.
God, only in the 90s. That's tough. Because a lot of stuff that's in the 90s is still available now.
Well, like Dunkaroos, that's gone. I remember that.
True. Well, okay. So I'm first generation American. I'm raised European. My family's from Belgium, immigrants. And so we always had this. It was called Giuliano's. It was like an Italian old school delicatessen, and they had Nutella before it became really popular. So I used to have Nutella before it was like mainstream now, and that was the only place you can get it. And there they had Australian chocolate bars, and it was called Violet Crumble. and it was like this honeycomb wrapped in chocolate. I just remember being really good, and that was the only place that we can go get them. But this, I think the store is still there in Torrance, where I'm from. But it was a really cool place because you can get sandwiches, and there's like antipasta and lots of stuff. But there was lots of European goods there that you can get that were imported. So it was like violet crumble, Nutella, and certain breads and that. Gosh, those would be some stuff. Other ones.
Uh-oh. A broke rain.
Yeah, you did. Like I have to think now.
No, no.
I don't remember eating. I loved. I really liked Skittles and things like that. Chewy things. Caramel's always like a Toffee was a good one. It's always candies and stuff that I enjoy with my mom. My mom was my best friend, and I really miss her. And like Toffee was really one that she liked, and peppermint. The chocolate peppermint ones, I can't remember the name of it now. White box, green logo. Can't remember it. But also being European, I love black licorice. So we used to eat a lot of black licorice, and what was it? Good and Plenty was another really good one that I just enjoyed with my mom. Or we really liked Rolos. I don't think you even find Rolos anymore.
Yeah, I think Rolos are gone. I think
yeah. It was just caramel with just chocolate with a little like foil around them and all
I was
that.
obsessed with them.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I would like unroll them and just eat the white, or just leave the other one to just snack on as I'm walking or whatever.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Rolos were good. Gosh, yeah, I can't. I just remember movie theater stuff. So I mean, because that's where I mostly ate most of my candy was like at a movie theater. Jujubes, or Juji Fruits. I just remember because they were really chewy, but they would stick around your teeth, so you could sit there and
I get so mad.
like trying to pick them out as I'm like at the theater and stuff. So, or you would get popcorn stuck in them, kind of thing.
Try to talk to a girl and you just do this, and it's like, yes,
it's nothing but Juju Fruits. Yeah,
like, no.
And I had braces too. So I mean, I had braces for 8 years, and I remember being like stuck all up in them, and then learned to kind of just suck on them a little bit.
Oh gosh, man, we need to make a retro picture, like an 80s picture of Ghost Head Nerd Talk. And just have
I've lost a lot of my my old pictures.
You find a picture, just snap a picture of it, and I could take the picture and put the picture of me, a picture of you when we were kids, and Ghost Head Nerd Talk, and have me just all like with hair, and just have like you with your braces. Aw, like Little Rain.
But, yeah, my mom and I loved Lemonheads too. Lemonheads was
another
really
good one.
Yeah, I guess that would be top 5.
So I would say first and foremost for me it would be Dunkaroos. I know this is not a candy, but it's a drink, and us Ghostbusters fans, we keep that to the heart. We even put alcohol in it. Ecto Cooler.
Yeah.
Ecto Cooler.
I drank a lot of that when I was a kid, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm surprised the dentist didn't like ban me for life from drinking it. Because I drank it when the reboot came out, and I was like, oh my God. I went home, I had to brush my teeth. I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh God, what's wrong with my teeth? The sugar. Another one that's a drink, but that it's kind of interesting, the Hi-C.
Hi-C was different, yeah. Or Tang.
Yeah.
My grandparents were all about Tang. Yeah. I just remember they were like, want some drink? And yeah, it was like Tang. Yeah.
Got some Eggo waffles. The Eggo waffles.
Eggos are good. They're still around. My daughter loves them.
They're there, but it's like that they don't have that same taste. You know, another one that we keep to our heart because they got rid of it and everybody's trying to bring them back is Twinkies.
Yeah, I never got into Twinkies. I mean, I had one or two, and which is funny when we did our when we helped Vacasa with our Ghostbuster commercial. Our team did it. They had a huge thing of Twinkies, and they had given us a big box of them. And then most of the team took them. I took like 4 or 5, and then my son stole them from me. I was just trying to keep them as more like kind of like a prop thing because Twinkies never die.
And
But yeah, I never really saw that. I mean, I really loved the Little Debbie, like round kind of. They were like chocolate kind of rolls, and I remember I could pull off the chocolate, and then you could slowly unroll it. I forgot what those were called, but like Little Debbie stuff was good when I was younger.
and number one on my 90s list, it's an ice cream. And if you don't remember it, you're gonna have to look it up, everybody. And Rain, if you don't remember it, Choco Tacos.
Oh God, yeah, I remember reading that they stopped making those. Yeah.
By me, fun fact, the ice cream place I always talk about during Dudes and also with here, that one time I talked about Ben's Fresh, they actually have a flavor of ice cream is Choco Tacos.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just
Yeah,
released
I
it. Ben's
think
Fresh.
I've had maybe 1 or 2, but I don't remember it. Yeah. I mean, I
My
don't remember the
friend's like,
flavor or taste of it, but
and
yeah.
I'm like, I told the girl because I got the strawberry shortcake one, and it was pretty good. It was sorry, Benz, if you're watching this 9.9/10. Yeah. it was okay. I'm gonna get canceled now.
You and your getting canceled. Stop.
Cancel. I'm blinking like a Nintendo character. You keep trying to draw my full heart in, and I'm like, no, it's half. It's always half. Always.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. The other one that what do they call that when you in things that can't be in the they're not couldn't make it to the countdown, but they're there. What's odds? What's the words they would say? They did make it to the countdown. We're just gonna mention little things before we
So,
go. The
not
audible
nominations
mentions.
or nods. Yeah.
Yeah. So the nods for me would be those little snack pack thingies from the 90s that everybody loved that had like the bologna and the crackers. That would
Oh,
be
Lunchables. They're still
yeah,
around.
the old ones, the original ones, like the ones
Yeah,
that
yeah. No,
nobody.
they're still around. They just add candy with them now
I mean, I'm an
because my
OG.
kids love Lunchables. So
One that I saw my friend had a few days ago in his lunch, and I was like, dude, fruit by the foot. I still can't
yeah,
believe
that's
that's
still
around.
around too. Yeah, remember that.
Still can't believe like he didn't. You know, most people like do it like slowly. He was like just, and I'm like,
Oh wow.
jeez. It's like
Yeah,
slow
one candy I was glad that they retired was fruit stripe gum. That was
down.
that was so
Hated that
horrible.
so
It
bad.
looked like the best tasting thing. Then the flavor would last like 3 seconds, and then you would just eat another one.
I'm like,
Another
I
thing
need
that
to.
it wasn't candy, but it's supposed to be cough drops. They were called Luden's cherry cough drops. They were fucking candy. They tasted like candy. They were fucking candy, and they were sold next to the candy, but they were sold as like cough drops, but they weren't cough drops in any way.
The
No.
kids with the hand switch, I need a cough drop, man.
Yeah, yeah. I think they still sell them, but yeah, Luden's cherry cough drops. They're not fucking cough drops. They're just it's just candy
The
branded in
kids
different
pitching
ways.
on the floor.
I remember buying them. I was like, "Hey, Luden's, they're right. Cough drops. Why you have a cough?" Like, no, they're just good.
Oh, jeez, kids don't. Trying to think what else. I already said Ecto Cooler, and everyone, my Ghostbuster friends, go, "You're right, Joe. You're right." Um, I'm cheating. I'm kind of looking on see if I remember anything. Oh, those little those ice pops that your mom would buy, everybody's moms would buy that had like the fruit that you have to stick it there. They come in a box, and you have to stick them in the freezer. It's like juice, but you stick it in the freezer and it freezes it. So it's like the
Yeah, Otter
tubes.
Pops.
Is that an otter? That's what they call it, an otter pop?
Well, it's in the little plastic kind of baggie, right? And you cut the tip off, and then you can kind of push it from the bottom.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
Otter Pops. Yeah, they still have them. Yeah. You
Some
can,
places don't.
Costco was selling them like 100 of them for like I think like $20 or something.
My
Yeah.
job, right about this time, my old grocery store I used to work in, that this time they always would throw it in the front and put it in a big bin.
Oh,
And
really?
they sometimes they would sell the box, the full box, and sometimes they would take them out of the box and just I'm like, that's
Sell
such a
them
waste.
individually. I remember
Really?
liquor stores started doing that. Yeah, and then they came out with the larger ones that were really big.
Those are in the 90s, those were like a hot commodity to the little teenage kid that wanted to go into the store and look cool and buy the big long one. I found I didn't get it, but I saw it in the fridge. It was a pina colada one.
Oh
Like,
God.
I was like, geez, I would have been like, yeah, I'm drunk. So drunk. What else? What else do we got? Oh, the gum, the Bubba one that comes in the rolly one. Bubba Jubba Bubba. It comes like in a little open thing, and you roll out the gum.
Oh God. I mean, I remember Hubba Bubba gum, but that was
Is it
like
Hubba Bubba? It
it
comes
was
out.
like the chew, like the it was like chew tobacco, but it was like
Oh
for
yeah, the
I mean, but
baseball
God, in
one.
the 80s we had gum cigarettes that you could blow out the sugar and it would look like you were smoking.
Yeah, I
I
could
mean,
see every parent stopping as I had that in my mouth, and I'm going.
yeah, I remember
Telling
Evan
your
doing
mom,
that. I thought it was so cool, but it was a big thing. Yeah, it wasn't a big deal back then.
no, mom, no, I'm not smoking. Ow, ow,
Yeah.
ow. It kind of looks like this, but
Okay. Yeah, I kind of remember that. I think it was
it's in a
Hubba Bubba,
box that's
but
like
maybe.
this. It's in a box that's like this, and it's like you roll the gum out and then you close it, and it comes out almost looking like a ticket. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
no, I don't remember that one.
I can't think what the name of it. I don't know if they still sell it. Oh, here we go. See, wow, that gum.
Yeah, Hubba Bubba, I was right.
Hubba Bubba. Yep, Hubba Bubba. Also, 90s snack that you had to have
Oh
in a
God,
recess.
yeah, cheese and crackers. Yeah,
Yep, cheese
yeah.
and crackers.
My
Ritz
kids had
took it over.
still have those here and there.
Oh,
My
another
favorite was the
one.
peanut butter Squeeze Its. Jesus Christ, yeah, yeah.
Squeeze it.
We had
Yep.
Squeeze Its, yeah.
And also, you couldn't go around the candy in the 90s without getting one of those, 80s and 90s.
A push up.
Yep, push up. Yep, push up.
Don't they have push ups still nowadays?
I
I don't
don't
know
know.
anymore.
We're gonna have
I
to
don't think so.
research
I
this. I
never
don't
see
think they
them.
do.
Yeah,
It's funny.
I
We
just
should
remember they would leak from the bottom if it got too hot.
I would get so mad. Oh, there's the one, the juicy one, these.
Gushers, they still sell those.
They
Yeah.
still sell Gushers?
Yeah, yeah, we were on a roller derby tournament that I was going to. Me and a bunch of teammates, we carpooled. There were like 4 of us, and then she bought a huge box of them, and we were just downing them on the way to. We were going from Portland to Northern California, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Another one that I'm surprised is still out, and all the way all the kids are eating nowadays.
Kid cuisine, Jesus, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, ugh, it's
It
like
was. I'm going
cafeteria,
on.
like
I'm on.
high school
It's more of an
cafeteria.
adult thing, like when you go to a party and your parents always bring this as a holiday gift or a gift to your
Oh,
friends.
I like those. Those were good.
They're weird. I was always afraid because I like to eat. I was a little kid that ate everything. I was the Slimer of the childhood. So
Oh,
I'd be like,
jeez.
everybody would walk away, drinking their coffees, or someone smoking the cigarettes outside, and I'd just be like, I just grab all the ones that look like the pretzels with the sugar, and I'm just like sitting in the corner, like holding up.
I just remember because they just had this basic, but that was kind of my grandparents were from, were European, so I mean we had these square kind of or triangle wafer cookies that would and there were these circular cookies that had like chocolate in the middle, but they were like that you can eat. They were like easily wrapped, so you can like slowly kind of wrap it off if you wanted, or just bite it by its normal. But we had lots of stuff that was kind of not super loaded with sugar, but they were more. It was more the bread or the breading or the material that it was made of was more sweet, but not as sweet. So it was like a light sweetness. But that's how like a lot of European stuff is.
I
So
don't know if they still.
that's
do
why those
this.
kinds of cookies appealed to me versus like a chocolate chip cookie or stuff like
Do they
that. But that
still
was
do
yeah,
the
that was
fruit
just what I grew up
roll-ups?
on. Roll-ups, yeah, they still
Roll-up.
have roll-ups. Yeah,
I didn't know if they had fruit
yeah,
roll-ups
fruit
though.
roll-ups. Yeah, yeah. It's funny because my partner's a diabetic, and they one of the things it's like if you're on a sugar shock, get a fruit roll-up. So I thought that too. I was like, is that still around? But yeah, you see them at Costco when I go to Costco.
There's also
Which I
these.
didn't go to
These are
Costco as
still around.
teenagers. Fruit snacks, yeah, you can still find that. Yeah,
That's
they're
like the
called gummy
generic
bears.
one that has the strawberry. The chicken nuggets. The like. There's like a few things I'm looking at up on Google. I'm googling it because I'm a cheater. I'm a cheater. There's these that I love. I'm obsessed with those.
Laffy Taffy, yeah, they still have them. Yeah.
But that was the one that has the crunchies in it. So it was like little crunchies
Oh,
of cherry. Yeah, it was weird. It wasn't just
yeah.
a straight Laffy Taffy. It had like the little crunchies of cherry or strawberry in it.
The only time I have Laffy Taffy is Halloween because that's when my kids get it from mom trick or treating.
And there's Butterfinger BBs. I don't know if you remember that in the movie theater.
Yeah, the BBs. Yeah, little ones. Yeah.
There's a bunch here that I'm just like, wow. Do they still have cheese balls?
Yeah. I think
The
it's just-
cheese balls, but this is a certain company.
was it Walmart sells like a huge bucket full of them? Yeah.
But me and my parents, long for a short, COVID, we went through one of those things in 2 days.
Oh wow.
That we were hungry.
Oh, here you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Joe likes balls.
Yep. Clip balls. balls, blazing balls.
He likes cheesy balls.
Like this one too. I'll change the subject. The Pepsi Clear.
God, I remember that. Yeah, Pepsi
Clear. Oh, there's also the shark.
Whole episode on food. So
I'm a foodie, so we're gonna do that next time. What about shark bites?
Yeah, remember shark bites? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I'm cheating. I'm looking. Oh, baby bottle.
We'll save it so we can save it for the next episode. For next week.
Here we go.
Last one.
Thank you for everybody for watching today. We really appreciate it. Definitely tell more of your friends about the Twitch. Tell them to follow us on Twitch, YouTube. Give us a big subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. Share with your friends. We're at 1,000 subscribers. We're at 1,048. We're just hitting the ground running. We're blasting over to the environment of this weird, fun world of YouTube. It's always fun. This thing's fun. I love doing this, and I'm glad to have you as my friends and family here on the YouTube world. Rain, do you have anything going on? Because it's Ghostbusters Day this weekend with you.
Oh gosh, I don't know. We just did the Starlight Parade on Saturday, and there was a ton of us there. And I was just like, let's record something for Ghostbusters Day, and we didn't. So I don't know. We were talking about it, but it's kind of up in the air, which is why I say maybe busy Saturday. But if not, I'm definitely down to do a Ghostbuster episode for sure.
Yeah, we got to get more people. Get some of your friends.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find some of your friends. I'll find some of my friends.
Yeah. I'm sure I could rattle the Ghostbuster community in the area, and we could bring Joss and maybe Paul back on. And
I love Josh. He was so much fun. I kept saying Josh.
Like Joss Wheaton, Joss, but not without the Wheaton.
Joss. All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and also follow us on Instagram under Ghosthead Nerd Talk. I'm gonna eventually make one for Facebook, but that's really hard. Facebook's weird. It would really give me a jolt in the whereas if I have to do another page. Yeah, they're kind of mean. Yeah, don't forget to support your local Ghostbusters franchise. If you see Ghostbusters, definitely take pictures, talk to them. They love it as much as we do. And just remember, fans, us ghost heads have a lot to talk about. And just remember, as I just said it twice. Good night, everybody.